Hello, 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 hello. What's up, Steven? Can you all hear me okay? Does it sound okay to you all tonight? Tonight, tonight. Does it sound okay? Does it? Thanks so much for joining me this evening. Thanks, Steven. Craig's been working on the audio. We think we got it down almost just right. Almost just right. But I need to check to make sure. You guys are my ears. I can't hear anything. Okay, so let's tweet this out and tell everybody that we're here just in case they care. We'll share this with a few people and the Twitter just in case they care. Just in case. You never know. Alright. We got that shared there. Now let's share it here. We go like this. See if we can get some people in here. Get some new callers. New callers live now. Fox News. Alright. See if we can get some people in here. See if we can get some callers. Hello. Freedom. Hi, Michelle. Hey, you're here early. Are you here early? Did you get off early, Michelle? That's cool. I have a video of a protester getting shot in Bogota, and the lady explains why police treat protesters like this, because this guy wasn't doing anything. He's just basically walking down this road, and a cop shoots him in the face and kills him. And it's because well, we'll get into it more, but it's a good clip, and I want you guys to see that. So you got up early. That's cool. It's always nice to get a little early parole. My good friend who is going to Vietnam just got laid off work, and he's like, yes, he said he went out to lunch with some coworkers, and they're all, oh, did you hear about so and so getting laid off? And he's like, no, did he really get laid off? And they're like, yeah, man, they're escorting him from the building right now. And he's like, God, I wish I could get laid off. And he went back to work, and then you got an hour to leave the building. So he got his wish. But, now he gets to go to Vietnam for as long as he wants to go to Vietnam, right? Got that going for him, which is nice. Beach Dennis. Hey, Beach. Hey, Beach. What's up, Beach? I have not had a bong hit yet today, so I'm going to have a bong hit early today, whether Wilco's ready or not. So anyways, I hope you all are doing good. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. And it's what he wanted, Michelle. He really did want to get laid off. He's very, very happy about it. He's like, on Saturday, he called and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. What are you doing? He said, I slept until 11 today. I got up before you. Which was funny because that never happened. Well, not never, but, he's one of those guys that gets up at 5, 6 in the morning, so he's very, very happy about it. Let's see. So, Santa Monica. I grew up in San Luis Obispo. Morro Bay. You know where that is? I went to Morro Bay High School. That's right. There he is. There's Wilco. Just had your first bong hit, huh? Yeah, this one's my first bong hit. My first bong hit of the day. And I need it. I'm ready. So ready. You guys ready? Come on, follow me and do exactly as you see. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Follow me and do exactly as you see. All right. So, did you guys like my unboxing video? I thought the unboxing video was pretty cool. Hey, Michael. Intelligent callers. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. So I thought that the unboxing video went pretty good. You guys like the unboxing video? I thought it looked pretty good. Didn't you guys? I mean, I want your honest opinion. The unboxing video. Follow me and do exactly as you see. That way I know that if I need to change something, that way I can adjust things. You know, if I don't have your honest opinion, guys, oh, it's great, then I can't really go, oh, we need to adjust this or we need to adjust that. Although, hello, caller.
Michael.
Yes.
What's up, man? How you doing? Go ahead. I see it. Little background music for your bong hit, little elevator music.
Okay, that was a good one. There we go. Now I'm back to myself. What's up, Pete?
What's up, bro?
I am. It's,
you know who it is.
Monday.
You know who it is.
Didn't I just say Pete?
Yes.
Okay. Then I guess I do know who it is, don't I?
Of course.
Everybody knows who it is. Pete.
What's up, all you fucking cunts in the chat? That's right. It's the DP.
DP.
Fuck all you motherfuckers in the chat.
You're
a whole bunch of fucking cunts.
Little DP player? Little DP? Go ahead.
What's up, Mike? How you been?
I am.
They wanted some intelligent callers, so here you go.
So so nothing sells intelligence like the C word.
That's right.
I'm good,
Mike,
Pete.
how are you, bro?
Did you see my unboxing video?
I did. I saw some of it. I'm very excited for you.
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty cool video. I am excited too. I can't wait. We're gonna start seeds this week for sure. So so I got that going for me, which is nice.
You're gonna be pumping out pounds in no time, brother.
I don't know about pumping out pounds, but I'm gonna have plenty. I'm gonna have plenty of weed around, and I will be smoking it and eating it and just as happy as can be. Got all my medicine taken care of. That's what freedom means to me. What does freedom mean to you, Pete?
I mean, that's like freedom personified, what you just said right there, brother.
You know, I think it's like in the video, in the unboxing video, I started off by explaining that every real cannabis lover at one time or another has wished that they could have their own garden, you know? And it's the truth. I mean, and I'm talking about from the beginning of time, they've thought, damn, man, I should grow some of this shit for me. Every single one. So, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, my buddy had this pretty much like almost the exact same setup you have in a nice little tent with a similar light setup in his basement, and he grew like an astonishing amount of weed in that small little space.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah,
you.
I
I
mean, you
think
can
you're.
do amazing little things with that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. It's gonna be fun. So we're gonna do. We're gonna do. I got some beautiful strains picked out. I have fucking so many strains, Pete, and I keep thinking, I want to go and talk to a couple more seed banks and get some more seeds. But I'm like, dude, I got plenty. Don't get more. I got plenty. Don't talk to anybody. Because I get more and then be like, oh, I want to grow that, but I want to grow this, but I want to grow that, and I don't know how much I can grow in a 4x4 tent. I'm thinking some of the plants are going to be as big as that are bigger than the tent. One plant. So
Yeah, I mean, don't blow your load fucking too quick. Maybe take it a little bit easy first. Know what your capabilities are first.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I keep. That's one of the things that I have problems with. I can't do things like on a small scale. Like I'm allowed to grow 15 plants, so I always grow 15 plants. But I think this time we're gonna grow. We're gonna grow 8 plants. So because I think that'll be cool. 8 plants.
Dude, my buddy had pretty much almost like the exact same setup that I saw in your video, and I would see him like once a week, like every Friday.
Yeah,
And every Friday, like the first thing he would do is like, dude, you want to see the plants? I'd be like, yep, and we go downstairs, and you open it up and look in, and it was like opening like the Ark of the Covenant or something.
Yeah,
like
it's like a
opening
treasure
pot of
trove. It's like
gold.
exactly.
Yeah,
when the
it's like
when
like
the
you're
when the
walking
pi-
through,
when
like,
the
this
pirates
beautiful
dig
little tropical jungle in
when
this
the
basement.
pirates dig the treasure out and they open the treasure chest and they're just like glowing, their face is just glowing. That's what it's like when you open the tent, man. Just like, oh, look at my treasure.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
And that's what that's a big part of what freedom means to me, and that's why I'm wanting to encourage as many people who can legally grow to grow. And I know that it's not for everybody, and I'm not going to pretend like it's an easy thing to do, but once you have your little flow down and it's nice to have as much weed as you want to have. And it'd be really good. I really, simply put, I believe the more people growing marijuana at home, the better place the fucking planet will be. That's all.
Hey, you'll get no argument from me, brother. I do know that with very little, know-how. Well, I shouldn't say know-how, but with pretty minimal effort, as long as you're willing to do your research, you can make it happen. Like I had a buddy that, he put that, you got to put down some money for everything in the ventilation system. But once you do that, as long as you're willing to put the effort in, you can really, make some amazing shit. You're willing to stay on top of it.
Well, that's the way I see it. Is like you have this right now, Pete, you only saw one tent in that video. I have 2 tents, and I have 2 lights that are equal to the one that I showed. So, and then I have like and one tent has like 3 compartments. So it has like a 2x4 compartment, or 2 2x4 compartments, and 1 4x4 compartment, which is like the one that you saw. So I can, I can seriously get some shit rolling here, but I gotta figure out. There's still stuff to learn. I gotta figure out how to do it all. But luckily, there's lots of people who know how to grow weed, so I'll figure it out.
Oh, you have, yeah. All the information you need is available to you, my friend.
And
you just gotta find it.
And it's not that difficult to start with. It's a fucking weed, man. It ain't that hard to grow.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy within, his first like 2 or 3 batches was making some pretty amazing shit.
And that's the thing too about having about growing your own, is that you can look at all the strains around the world, and you can study it and find these amazing finds and go, God, I want to grow this so bad, and fucking grow it. You don't have to go, oh, I wish I could smoke that, but they're never gonna get it at my store. Well, fuck the store. That's what freedom is, baby.
I gotta show you some pictures that I have on my old phone of my buddy's tent. you would unzip it and poke your head in, and you couldn't see the bottom. You just saw
Yeah,
dank
beautiful.
nuggets, just pyramids of dank nuggets.
It sounds wonderful.
Beautiful.
So you don't live around that person anymore? Because you said you got to go to your mom to get weed now or something. Your mommy gets
Yeah, I
your
don't
weed
see
for
that
you.
friend anymore, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, but my mom gets some pretty good shit.
Yeah, well, that's I wish I could have said that.
Everyone knows someone who's doing exactly what you're doing, Mike. I mean, there's people doing it fucking everywhere.
Growing
and
weed?
Selling it, so.
I'm not selling weed.
Yeah.
I don't sell weed. I don't. I give it away to my fucking neighbors, man. I make cookies. I'm the neighbor behind me. I see him out on the balcony. I'm like, hey man, I just made a batch of brownies. He's like, I'll be right over. And I give him a Tupperware of brownies, man. You know? I don't, and that's the thing is, I think that also that people who grow weed for money aren't necessarily growing the best weed. And I want to grow the best weed. I want to grow the best weed there is. You know, that's all there is to it. That is the whole purpose of me growing weed, is to find the best weed and to grow the fuck out of it, baby.
Requires a lot of maintenance, man. I mean, to really do it right.
It's gonna require. It's going to be a major.
Kind of is a lot of work. I mean,
there's all this work to grow. First, you got to find the stuff that looks good. So you got to find whatever looks good, and then you got to learn to grow it, right? So I got tons of stuff to learn to grow, and then I'm looking for like fucking stuff that's unbelievable. I found this plant. I found this plant last night, and they're saying you have to veg it for 4 months before you can let it go into flower, right? So like most plants, you veg for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks, something like that, 7 weeks indoors at the most probably. And they're like, you got to veg it, you got to give it at least 15-gallon pot, which everybody's saying like 3 gallons is plenty. And these are the breeders. They're like, you got to give it a 15-gallon pot and you got to let it veg for at least 4 months. I'm like, fuck, man. I want to grow that. I don't know why. It's going to take like 6 months, 7 months just to get a fucking harvest. But it sure sounds interesting.
Hey, I mean, take advice from the pros.
Yeah, I try to listen to the pros, but the only real knowledge is experience, Pete.
Yeah,
and of course, the pros,
the craft. I mean,
the pros have the knowledge. But I mean, again, the people that are growing it for money, I'm telling you, okay, the seed breeders, those guys are doing it because of love. Those guys are doing it because they want to create amazing creations. But the fucking, and they want to share them with the world. They want to share their beautiful, and it would be so cool. I really thought a lot about becoming a seed breeder because it would be so cool to make this thing, and just imagine if it became legendary, like Granddaddy Purple or something like that, that just lived on for like hundreds of years, and you're the one who created it, It'd be so cool.
Yeah. The fucking Mike Avaz oil. You make fucking Mike Avaz oil. Blow people's minds.
I am not aiming for maximum yield. I'm not aiming. I mean, I just want to, and it's not, maybe not even the maximum quality. You're just looking for something special. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to this hunt. And again, I got 60 seeds to start up. I have like a list of fucking like maybe 50 to 60 seed breeders that I could go in right now and probably get more seed from half.
You sound just like my buddy when he started getting into what you were doing, and I'm telling you, I can already tell within a very short time you're gonna have some good strains on your hands. A couple batches, and you'll be with it, Mike. Don't worry.
And I'm really looking forward to sharing like pretty flowers with everybody else too, because people seem to like
Oh, I
that.
would love to see that. You
Yeah.
should, yeah, share some images. I
Yeah.
would love to see it. I'm looking forward, Mike, personally myself, to making some dank ass coconut oil.
I'm looking. You know what, Pete? I'm looking forward to you making coconut oil too.
I'm gonna be making it pretty soon within the next few days.
Are you out of butter already?
No, well, I quickly am. I was hoping my ounce of wheat and ounce of butter mixture would last for 2 weeks, but it's not gonna make it.
Oh.
Especially not through the weekend.
What are you sharing it with a bunch of people or something?
No, I eat most of it on the weekend when I have nothing to do and I'm just sitting around. I'm like, hey, let's eat a brownie, another brownie. When I'm working during the week, it's better because I just eat one when I come home and I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you have a nice
Coconut
weekend?
oil,
Did you have a nice
in the
weekend?
mason jar.
Then did you have a nice weekend?
Method. Yeah, it was good.
It sounds like
good.
it was pretty good.
I feel like my brownies, like, I don't know if maybe my tolerance is, I don't know if my tolerance is increasing or if my brownies are losing tolerance a little bit, like after you bake them.
No, you definitely get tolerance. I mean, but again, it's if what you're doing, Pete, is eating your brownie and then sitting in front of a computer or sitting in front of a television. I mean, you're only going to get so much out of it. But if you go out in the world, you're gonna find that they're actually probably a lot more powerful than you think.
Oh no, I'm out and about.
Oh, good.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just building up way too much of a tolerance to it.
Well, that's weird because, I mean, again, I take like a 1 inch by 1 inch square of my brownies, and I am good. But I'm not trying to get real super high or anything. I'm just trying to be good, I just need to keep moving forward, man. That's what I gotta keep doing. Gotta keep moving forward. Who the fuck gave me 3 thumbs down? What the fuck is wrong with you people? 3 thumbs down.
I don't see 3 thumbs down.
It says 5 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down. Or 6 likes and 3 dislikes. I guess is the way you put that. Hey, I am just here doing this thing, okay, and I'm trying to share and be here, and I have a clip of a protester in Bogota getting killed by a police officer, and it's more important than that, okay? The clip is about why the police treat the protesters so badly, so you know. Peter.
Michael.
Are you still there?
I'm still here. Sorry.
Tell me, did you watch any movies over the weekend, Peter?
I did not.
You didn't, huh? What did you do?
Well, I've been researching coconut oil, Mike.
Oh,
I'm very
nice.
excited about this.
Cool.
I'm very excited about it. I'm going to try the traditional mason jar method. I don't know if anyone knows anything about this.
Well, you're saying you put that on the stove in like a boiling pot of water, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To me, this seems like a great method because you don't lose anything because it's all sealed in a mason jar, and that's all you need is a mason jar. It's very convenient. Anyone can do it. If anyone knows anything about this, I would appreciate some feedback in the comments.
Well, isn't there like a million?
To me, it seems like a brilliant idea because
isn't there a million fucking YouTube videos on it already?
I mean, there's some people doing it, but I don't know.
Well, you said it worked out. You said it worked out for you. Is that the way you did it after you broke your machine the other time?
No, I was just doing it with butter, and I just simmered it on my.
Just put it in a pan.
But that worked pretty good.
Yeah,
that worked good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the way to do it, man. You just need a fucking crock pot, dude. That's all.
Yeah, coconut oil. I don't know. People People rave and rave about coconut oil.
The coconut oil, like I said, we made coconut oil one time, and it was pretty much the strongest butter I've made, or oil that I made. And I'm not sure why the coconut oil was better, because it gets made with all the same stuff, the same way I always make everything, but it came out really strong, which is nice.
Yeah, see, we should try it again. I want to try it, because that's a lot of people say that.
I don't like coconut oil. I like butter. So, I mean, it's nice that it comes out stronger, and if I needed it to be stronger, I probably would try that, but it costs more, and I don't care for the flavor, and I don't know as far as using it, I don't know that I want to be eating that much coconut oil. I feel safer eating butter, honestly.
I think coconut oil is actually easy for your body to metabolize, if I'm not mistaken.
It may be. Well, I don't know. No. Butter's good. Butter is very good. Don't fuck with butter.
I'm not saying butter's not good. No,
don't fuck with butter. People like to act like, there's fat, blah blah blah. Fuck you. That's good. It's good. Good. Leave butter alone. So, but Des says coconut oil helps the kale slide in the trash easier. So
Hey man, I'm just trying to find efficient ways to get high. That's all. I want to explode.
I am really glad that you're going to try the coconut oil, Pete, because like I said, the one time that I made it, it came out very strong, and I'd like to hear you get a batch that's like really strong, and you'll be like going, whoa, this is whoa, So and especially if you were using the same stuff or very similar, and then I would go, well, shit, maybe I should try the coconut oil again. But I don't really want to, but maybe I should.
Hey, I'm gonna go for it, bro. I'll let you know how it goes.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said,
I'm gonna let you go, Mike.
Okay, Pete. It's good to hear from you. Thanks a lot for calling, man.
Yeah, I'll let you know how my fucking coconut oil goes.
All right. Well, I hope
you fucking cunts in the chat can fucking suck my dingaling.
All right, Pete. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you have a good week, bro. Okay, and we'll talk again soon, I'm sure. Well. Right?
Of course, bro.
Okay, talk again soon.
Have a nice, week.
Okay, you too.
Everyone in the week.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat.
Everyone nice.
Suck my dick.
Everyone.
Also gives me a fucking big boner.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Call.
Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Whoa, what do you got that torch for? What are you doing there? Burning off the rest of your hair?
No.
Oh, damn. What are you doing?
Gonna light my bong.
Oh, with that torch? That's butane, man. You can't inhale that. No wonder, man. You look sickly. You need to stop doing that. You need a regular, hemp wick or something.
No, that won't work.
You got one of those titanium nails? You doing a dabby dab?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a dab. But I don't smoke it off titanium. I smoke it off of fucking quartz crystal.
I don't see your mouth moving. Am I talking to the guy that's got this gray beard and stuff in this torch?
Yes, you are. What's your name? My name's Mike.
My name's Tony Lamont. How you doing, Michael?
Hey, Tony. It's good to hear from you. Thanks a bunch for calling.
So what do you do on here, Michael?
Well, we talk about all kinds of current events and whatever everybody else got going on in their mind.
What's the latest things you talked about?
Well, I have a news clip tonight I'm going to play of a protester getting killed by a police officer in Bogota.
Whoa.
Yeah, in Bogota. He's a high school student, and he's just walking down the street, and for no reason the cop shoots him in the face with a shotgun beanbag. And
was he a black kid?
And it killed him. Well, he's from Bogota, so he's brown. But
oh man, why are you worried about shit over there?
Because it's really this not about the kid getting shot in the face, but how cops treat
Well, what is
protesters.
it about?
Well, it's about how
Seems
cops
like that would be
treat.
the most
It's about how
important thing.
cops treat protesters everywhere, and
They shouldn't
why.
be protesting.
And
You have no right being on private property going. That's weirdo. Look
that's
at all the
but
pot people protesting.
public
We would have had
public
weed legal
property.
ago, and you would have been dabbing legal if all the weirdos weren't going and protesting. If we had guys
Yeah,
in business suits and all this shit looking like professionals, they would
yeah,
have legalized it years ago.
yeah. Right. Because that's what the cops want.
No, that's what everybody wants. They want to feel like they doing something that they know about. A bunch of hippies in tie-dye looking like they haven't showered in 2 weeks isn't going to get the law passed.
See, you want to play little games where you
I'm not
do.
playing a game.
Yes,
That's
you
exactly
do.
what
Yes, you
happened,
are. You're
sir,
playing this
sir,
game
sir,
where
like
you want to
Congress.
insult
You're
people
ripping off
who actually
Fox News
go
looking
out.
like Christmas past of 20 years ago, fucking smoking bongs in front of little kids, and you're judging me?
Yes, because that's all that you seem to do with everyone, right?
How do you know what I'm
Because
doing?
that's all
You
you've
don't
done
do
since
some
you got
shitty
on the
judgmental
fucking
love.
phone,
You're a
douchebag.
judgmental bigot, sir. You're a judgmental bigot.
No, you are. That's all you've done since you got on the phone. I tried to have a conversation with you, and you keep talking about dirty hippies and gonna smoke your little dabby dabs all day long and blah blah blah. Everybody's negative except for fucking people with fucking cop haircuts who fucking stand up and fucking toe the line of the police state, right? Yes, it's too bad you don't want to hear anything at all, because otherwise maybe we could have a conversation, but you don't want to. You simply want to throw insults, which is too bad.
You're the guy smoking the weed. You're the guy giving me the attitude. I'm the guy defending myself rather well.
Oh, okay. Good luck with that.
That was what happened. I got it on YouTube. You got it on Twitter. I wasn't.
All you do is judge people, okay?
No,
People know
you gave me what that is.
No, you made it really clear. First, you want to know if somebody was black. First, I'm talking about somebody getting shot in the face, and you want to know if they're black, as if somehow that's an excuse to shoot someone in the face. This is who you are. You have your head firmly up your ass. So,
you're gonna have a heart attack.
yes, of course, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're getting really agitated right now.
Right. You know me so well.
You just deny everything. I think you live in a fantasy world. You better stop smoking weed. I think somebody slipped a little meth in there.
Oh, well. Well, see, again, this is who you are, being this judgmental twat who wants to tell everybody. I think somebody did this to you because you're acting like that. You're acting like a lunatic. I'm telling you.
Around a fucking propane tank like it's a goddamn big lighter.
Yeah. It's a propane tank. Are you trying to say it's not safe or something?
I'm saying normal people don't use a goddamn big propane tank to smoke weed.
Maybe you're not from the 21st century.
Put the pen down.
Maybe you're. That's my weed, douchebag.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a pen. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You call me a douchebag?
Of course, you're a fucking douchebag. You are a douchebag from the minute you got on the phone. Okay? You don't want to have a conversation. You want to pass judgment on everybody and everything.
You just keep on babbling. I'm trying to help you.
I'm afraid, I'm not trying to help anyone. Ever. Except for yourself.
Right now, you don't want the help. I can't change you. Only you can change yourself.
Sure, I want help. Buy me a pizza.
What do you like on it? You got to give me details. How big? You have family? Do they need to be fed? Why are you asking to be fed from a stranger? That's just weird.
Not really. See, unless, of course, you're extremely judgmental. Dude, I'm here doing this, okay? Which
you don't look like you're starving, sir. Did you just blow smoke in my face? Wow, he's just dabbing like he don't give a flying fuck. I like big rats. Father Tom is he's not taking his douchebag thing down. This is really irritating and fucking offensive. No wedding ring. I see why. You're a little bit fucking buttered over those ladies that left you, didn't, aren't you? Wow, you should get some carcinogens out of that weed. You shouldn't be fucking coughing that much. Have you ever had a good weed?
Have you ever had a bong hit?
Out of a jug.
That's a good
Holy
question,
shit.
actually. Have you ever had a bong hit?
Yes, all the time.
Wow, sounds like you could use another one, really.
Well, you should. You look good doing it, man. You almost choked to death. Maybe we'll get lucky and you might do it.
Yeah, see how you
seem
are?
like you're an angry
Again,
person,
again,
sir. You seem
again.
like you're- it
See
wasn't
how you are?
anything
See
to
how
me.
you
Why
are?
did I wish you
See what you're doing?
when
It's
you
just
were
one
doing that
judgmental
yourself?
thing after the next
You know what
judgmental
hypocrite
thing,
means.
after the
You know
next
what hypocrite
judgmental
means,
thing,
sir. You know
after
what
the
hypocrite
next
is.
judgmental
Sir,
thing,
sir,
after
sir.
the, and you know what kind of people it is that do that? People with massive inferiority complexes. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm telling you?
I understand
People
you're
with
just
massive
rambling
inferiority
on.
complexes
Shut up. That's
are
what I
continuously
understand.
judging
Blah,
other
blah,
people.
blah. I smoke weed on the dumps of that mumbles and
See?
rambles. Blah,
Continuously
blah, blah,
judging
blah, blah,
other
blah,
people because
You got
that
news,
way
you
they're
got
not looking
mad
at
bros,
themselves.
You got douchebags. You got all this shit. This is sad.
This is,
You're
I know,
like
it's so
19
sad.
years old. You
It's
don't
so
do
sad. To be a troll and at your age, it's
I'm
unbelievable.
not trolling. You're the guy.
Of course you
trolling.
are.
You're the
You
one
call
with the
up
meetings. You're
and
the
you
guy
just
making up these
say
excuses. You're the
one
guy
negative
doing the dumb shit.
judgmental thing after another. Don't
No, I
you?
did not,
Yes,
sir.
you do.
Can I ask you a personal question? Are you a homosexual?
A what now?
Homosexual.
No.
Why do you have those feminine mannerisms when you talk?
Because I was raised by a woman, most likely.
Oh, really? I was raised by a woman. My
Mhm.
mom and my auntie and all that other stuff. I don't fucking do that.
Well, I don't care. Again, this is
I'm
this
not
thing.
looking for
This is this
Jessica.
thing where you have
That
to
guy
judge
fucking
people,
attacked me first,
and
I'm
it's
there
you're
to
like,
prove it.
oh, are you this? Are you that? Oh, and not just are you, but you are this, and you are that. Again, and you know what kind of people that? Do you know what kind of people again walk around going, oh, look at that guy, he's a fucking fag. Do you know what kind of people do that? People who like thinking that other people are gay. People who are continuing, oh, and that guy's gay, and that guy's gay. Again and again, I've made real clear, I don't care what your sexuality is. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care. It doesn't, I just want, if you're cool or not cool, and you're clearly not cool. Good luck with that. So we are clear. And I don't want to hang up on that guy, but he won't let me get a word in edgewise. And then when I listen and let him talk, he just says these negative shit. So I don't want to hang up on him, but I don't want to sit here and fucking fight somebody who just keeps flinging negative shit my way. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mox, how are you doing?
Hi, Chris. It's good to hear from you, bro.
It's good to hear from you, too. And I want to thank you for allowing that to stay up on your program for about 3 or 4 minutes, because it was really revealing, and your comments were very relevant. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
I would have had a conversation with that guy, but he didn't want to have a conversation. He just wanted to fling shit and see what he can get to stick up against the wall, So.
Oh, I do. And it actually tied into one of the things I wanted to speak with you about, and have conversation with you about. But I watched this film last night. It was an older film. It was called. It was about the artist Harvey Pekor. American Splendor was the name of the film, with Paul Giamatti. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think I've seen it, but it sounds familiar. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
that's.
Paul Giamatti's work. He's awesome.
Do you know who Harvey Pecor is?
The name is very familiar, but I can't place it right at the moment.
He's a graphic, he's an animator. He's not an he's a writer is what he is. He wrote a series of comic books
Right on.
in the 1980s, in the late 70s, and in the early 80s.
Do you know
He
what
was
comic
friends
book?
with yeah, it was called American Splendor.
Oh, okay.
And he was friends with Robert Crumb, the artist from
Yeah.
who did Mr. Natural from San Francisco,
Yeah.
the hippie counterculture.
The Keep
They were
Trucking
really
guy.
close friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they.
Is it
and they met.
Freddy's Fat Cat, and
Yep.
he did a whole bunch of
So
cool.
they-
R. Crumb is awesome, and there's an amazing documentary about him.
Yes.
I'm not sure what it's called, but if you look it up, it's a
People should check that out because he talks about his brother who has a serious mental illness, was disabled like for the last half of his life, and he moved out of the United States. He moved to France because he couldn't deal with it. He lives in Europe, and he talks about his development as an artist, and he's really cynical, but he's also kind of funny. R. Crumb has a really interesting kind of satirical sense of humor, right? Well, he met this guy, Harvey Pecor. They were looking for albums at a junk shop in Cleveland, Ohio, where Harvey Pecor lived. And R. Crumb collected records, and they liked really old records. And they met each other and became friends.
Mm.
And after the course of their friendship, kind of this counterculture for a little while, Harvey Pecor decided that he would make comics that were hyper realistic. So he drew storyboards, and then R. Crumb illustrated them first, and then other artists illustrated them over the course of time. And the storyboards, this person, Harvey Pecor, he was just into hyper realism. So it was just basically people in the office, like turning to another person in the office and just making a very bland statement that any person would make.
Mm-hmm.
Super realistic. And it was a dark, dark perspective. Well, anyway, the reason why I bring this film up is one part of the film, he was on David Letterman like 6 or 7 times. He became kind of famous, and he was a guest on Letterman. And he was kicked off of the David Letterman show in 1987 after he took his jacket off and walked on the stage that said, strike NBC, and it had like a symbol of NBC, and he sat down with this white T-shirt on, and then he went into this long rant in front of David Letterman about GE and the military-industrial complex and the Wall Street firms that are owned by General Electric.
What year was that?
1987. And I'll actually give you the YouTube link because Harvey Pecor he was kicked off. It's called Harvey Pekar, Pekar, on Letterman, August 31st, 1987. And there's a YouTube video of it. But Harvey Pecor is kind of a really caustic person. But David Letterman would make fun of him and take opportunity of having this kind of like low ball on his program that he could make these jokes about. And Harvey Pecor went along for the ride because he was able to promote his comic books. But he also was a manic depressive. And when he reached this point, he just said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And the way he did that was by creating this huge spectacle, kind of like Andy Kaufman.
Mm-hmm. Andy was very good at creating spectacles.
Crazy spectacles.
Yeah.
And so anyway, David Letterman and him got in a fight on the show, and he didn't invite him back on the show. And when I watched the program last night, I did think about your YouTube program and recognize that you tolerate quite a few different perspectives, and David Letterman wasn't willing to do that. He banned him.
I love artistic people, and if you're around artistic people and you're not able to, go outside your safety zones, you're not going to be comfortable at all. You're not going to be able to enjoy anything. So, and it's really weird that Letterman was so fucking uptight. It's too bad.
He was uptight for 4 years until Harvey Pecor was diagnosed with cancer. and then wrote a graphic novel with his wife about experiencing cancer, like a 150-page graphic novel about what it's like to live with cancer. And about a month before the book was released, lo and behold, David Letterman apologizes and lets him back on the program. And then he was also on the program one more time. And then Letterman did say this. This is a quote at the very end of this article. It says, I loved Harvey Pecor. He was a wonderful guest, the kind you don't see anymore. The only real problem with Harvey was my immaturity. That was David Letterman who said that. I thought that was interesting.
Well, I'm really surprised. I always thought Letterman was cooler than that, and I guess but if he actually apologized and stuff, though, that's seeing having 20/20 vision at least. Hindsight.
When he reinvited him on the program 4 years later, he said I don't know if he really apologized, but I think he said we had a spat or we had a disagreement, and that's water under the bridge, and we're still affable, social people, so let's have a conversation like that. But the first thing you talked about was cops and protesters.
Yeah, I have a video of a cop in Bogota shooting
in Colombia.
Shooting a high school student who's protesting. He's just walking down the street, and the cop just turns and points his fucking shotgun and shoots him in the face with it. And it's a beanbag, supposed to be a non-lethal weapon, but if you shoot him in the face, it's kind of over. And the kid died like 2 days later. And but the video is about but really the important part of the video, what I want to talk about is that there's a person, and she's explaining that why the cops treat protesters like this is because the media vilifies protesters, and politicians vilify protesters and act like they're criminals and vandals, and like when Barack Obama, when Occupy was in the street, Obama's Department of Homeland Security labeled the protesters potential terrorists, and the cops acted accordingly, like they were handling potentially above and beyond dangerous people. And that's why when Scott Olsen is standing in the middle of the street with people 100 feet behind him, and he's got a fucking an American flag and a peace sign, and that's it.
Gets hit with a tear gas canister.
They thunk a tear gas canister off his fucking forehead. Why? Yeah. Because they're potential terrorists. That's why. That's what Obama handed down. Okay? And,
of course.
And this is, and I remember during Occupy, I remember how the media, the first thing they did was label these people drug addicts and public defecators, right?
It's the same language that they always use to describe the homeless people. So basically, they took the language that they used to describe the poorest of the poor, and they applied it to the demonstrators, and it just goes back and forth. Like, it's perfectly acceptable to speak about a homeless person that way, but it isn't acceptable to speak about a political activist that way, kind of, in parlance, right? But the way that they kind of mix the two together, but there was also a legitimate reason, in a weird way, why that happened, because Occupy Wall Street appealed to people who were utterly destitute. So I know in my community here in Olympia, Washington, there were tents that were set up as they occupied space. But groups of people who helped the homeless people also were able to provide services at Occupy Wall Street because there were tents there and there were people tenting in public.
Yeah.
So it was a way to draw attention to the issue of homelessness. And how people shouldn't be described that way regardless of whether they're political activists or they're just people who don't have a house to sleep in. It's really repugnant. It describes how utterly morally depraved many people are in our culture. Just fucking off base.
You know, this thing about I don't know how people don't want to lift people up. You know what I mean? It's the homeless problem is a tricky, very difficult thing that we're having a problem coming up with a solution for. But you would think everybody just wants to help these people up because, you know, simply put, it's the same. You know, we all live in the same community. So if this is something that's bad in the community, if we don't, you know, as to festering in the community, if we don't try and raise it up, then that's the same community we all live in. So,
that is a noble goal, and I'm on board with you on that goal, treating people like human beings and giving them some dignity and trying to help them out. But one of the articles that I read earlier this afternoon, it was from The Stranger, and it was talking about rent control in Seattle. So rent control in Washington State was abolished. No, not in Seattle. Rent control in Washington State. And rent control was abolished in Washington State in 1981. And apparently, the empty suit that's sitting in the governor's office, Jay Inslee, could just instantly, with an ink pen, sign a piece of paper, and we would have rent control in the state of Washington. I don't even think, from what I understand, he may not even need legislative permission to do it. He could just do it. But he won't do it. And the article talks about Kshama Sawant and the Seattle City Council and the arguments for rent control and yada yada, right? But the interesting thing was the comments to the article, and there were about 45 of them when I checked earlier this afternoon. And they were literally one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, defending the rights of landlords to do whatever they want in terms of raising rent when they want and however much they want, and that those are just rights that they have. And then one of their arguments was, and if people can't afford to pay the rent, they just need to move, right? And if you think about a person who's lived in Seattle their entire life, that's where they're from, that's where their family is, that's their program, and they can't afford an apartment, they just need to move is the marketplace's answer. And they don't even care about what that means. And that's kind of the same attitude in a subtle way of the cop putting a gun in a protester's face and pulling the trigger. You know what I mean?
It's this, we don't care because we can. That's why cops do it, because we can. That's why people who can raise the rent do, because we can. So it's not because, you know, we have to, because, you know, everything's going up, the taxes are going up or whatever. No, it's because we can. We want to make more money, so we can. We're going to. You know, there's not enough apartments as a buyer's market, you know, or seller's market, whatever. Get the fuck out if you don't like it.
And people who are paying those market rates and who are living in those gentrified neighborhoods, they want a reason to justify their existence. So it's very easy for them to just make a simple statement. Well, if they can't afford to live here, they just can't afford to live here. It's very callous.
Yeah.
Without very, you know, cut and dry, as they say. Anyway, so I did also find, you were talking about the mentality of a cop, like what does a cop think, like that would, in relationship to protesters. And I found this article from Law Enforcement Today earlier, and it's from September of 2019. And the title of the article is called Black Entertainment's new Cop Watch series follows police hassling activists. That's the title of the article. And the article is about Cop Watch. And apparently, and I read another article about this that has a completely different slant. It was really positive. It was like, Black entertainment raising awareness of police brutality, encouraging people to film the police, right? But not at Law Enforcement Today. At Law Enforcement Today, they call Cop Watch police hassling activist. And then there was this one quote, which I think kind of encapsulates the attitude of the police towards people who are even trying to document what's happening when they're committing crimes. And this is the quote from Law Enforcement Today, relating to people filming the police. It is unclear at this time whether the 10 episodes will be renewed to continue further episodes. It also brings into question if this will create a movement of individuals that will put themselves in harm's way to get video footage of police officers. Not only will approaching officers who are in the middle of working a scene or a call place the amateur filmmaker in harm's way, but it also refocuses the attention of the officer, which could cause harm to them, not to mention other individuals that might be involved at the scene. Arguably, checks and balances must be in place. Like in any population, there are always bad individuals, but do the actions of the few justify putting the greater population in danger by filming the police? Is this type of action the best to weed out the bad seed? Says law enforcement today.
You know they want it illegal to film the cops, man.
In some places it is, right? I think in Chicago it's illegal to film the police, but I don't think it's illegal to film a place everywhere, and I don't think so. Is it?
No, but they want to make it so that it is. I don't know that it is in Chicago. I know that they've
I
tried.
think it is in a few places.
I know that they've tried to make it
a-
illegal in a few places. I know they have. And you know why they want that? So that.
Well, of course.
Well, no.
So that they
Listen,
can-
they want that so that the media won't be able to play these tapes when people come forward with police brutality. The media won't be able to play it because it's illegal. It was captured illegally, so they can't play it. That's why.
Yeah, cameras are funny things, you know, like there used to be the argument about cameras in the courtrooms, but I mean a lot of those laws I think were written like back when cameras were not as prolific as they are today in the general population. And I don't think they imagined that in the future every person would have a camera in their hand. So it's interesting how the law kind of has responded to that, like these police officers at law enforcement today. They're just authoritarians by nature. Like, don't take a picture of me doing my job. You know, just like I can shoot you in the face if I want to. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of obnoxious
Yeah.
kind of attitude.
No, I've seen. I posted a video of cops walking down the sidewalk in Canada. I don't know if it was Vancouver. It was in Canada somewhere, and there's like a person on crutches walking by, and they literally shove her out of the way so that they don't have to like stop walking side by shoulder to shoulder down the sidewalk. They shove this person in crutches out of the way. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's who cops are.
Well, some of them are that way, and I think they all could be that way. That's the dangerous part. This was an excerpt from Stop the Drug War, okay, and this was good news. This is the good news, and it comes from Oregon. And StopTheDrugWar.org says, Oregon Drug Decriminalization Initiative begins signature gathering. Signature gathering has begun for an initiative that would decriminalize the possession of small amounts of illicit drugs. The 2020 Drug Addiction Treatment and Recovery Act, I don't know about that, needs 100,000 valid voter signatures to qualify for the November ballot. Proponents said they would see how signature gathering goes for the next month before deciding whether to press forward. All right, so they need 100,000 voter signatures, and what they're pitching is decriminalizing possession of small amounts of illicit drugs, presumably, crack, cocaine, meth, things of that nature. Hopefully heroin, right?
I don't know. I just want all the drugs decriminalized. It doesn't make any sense to make someone into a criminal for doing what people for 1,000 generations before them have done. This is people, we're top of the food chain. This is what it means. We try different substances. People say, "Oh, this shit is awesome. You got to try this." You go, "Hey, why not?" That's So, and again, that's what freedom means, right?
We're still animals, right? I mean, essentially, not in a negative way, but like we still are connected to the earth. Like the receptors in our brain respond to these plants.
I don't know. I don't even understand what you mean when you say in a negative way. When you say we're still animals, and then you say not in a negative way. I don't even know what you mean.
Well, some people, Mike, take offense to that. when you describe, and I'm not suggesting that you are that person, but some people take offense to that when you describe human beings as anything other than something that is in the image of perfection and is completely alienated from the planet that we live on.
Humans are
now,
the image
I'm not
of perfection.
saying that I agree with you, but I just noticed that over the course of time.
Well, I guess
point,
what they're trying to say is like humans have souls or something, and animals don't have souls or something. Is that the idea, or? Because I don't really get what you're saying.
Yeah,
See, I just view as the whole planet is like a living community, and we're part of that, just like the animals are part of that. Just like the trees are part of that.
Gaia theory. We're all there.
Yeah, I guess that's I guess
living organism. Yeah,
we're just all
makes sense to me.
Yeah, we're just all part of the community, and that's why when we see things that are no longer part of the community happening again and again and again, it should concern us greatly because because we're on that list too.
Now, this is the last tie-in, and then this last story, and there's two parts to it. And this is about the Saudi pilot that we talked about the other day. And if you remember, I said maybe the guy was offended by some stupid remark, or maybe he was offended because he was being bullied. Remember I said that?
Uh-huh.
But I said I don't know because I didn't have any proof of that. Well, I got the proof today. I found it late this afternoon. It's from The Independent, which is a British newspaper, and they made fun of him in class. Yeah. And so there's this thing about maybe cultural sensitivity, right? Like, I don't know what a fundamentalist Christian would think if I was in a classroom and I just started making jokes about his penis or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Real, like, in front of, 30 other people. Well, that is kind of what happened to this guy. So it says Mohammed al-Shamari, a Saudi pilot who was killed, was sailor was left infuriated after being called porn stash.
Porn stash?
Porn stash. I'll spell it. Pornstache. Like Freddie Mercury. Mustache. Porn stash. The Saudi Air Force trainee who killed 3 sailors at a Navy base last week reportedly made an official complaint about being called porn stash by one of his instructors, Mohammed al-Shawmani. Excuse me, that's a hard name to say. Said he was left infuriated earlier this year when an instructor referred to him using the mocking nickname, according to the New York Times. The complaint has emerged as part of an investigation by the FBI into the shooting of Pensacola, which is being treated as a terrorist attack. I was infuriated, quote, I was infuriated as to why he would say that in front of the class, he said as a summary to his complaint, although the complaint of the derogatory nickname was porn stash, S-T-A-S-H. He appeared to mean porn stash, referring to the style of thick mustache. This is hilarious. Associated with porn actors.
Right.
The incident reportedly took place at the end of a meteorology class when an instructor asked students if they had any questions. The instructor then apparently turned to al-Shawmani, addressed him by the nickname. Laughing, he continued to ask, "What? Have you not seen a porn star before?" Al-Shawmani wrote in the complaint, according to the Times. After I did not respond, he let the subject go. But he did take the time to file an incident report that he had with 2 other American students to witness the incident of harassment. So it affected him enough to make a note to the military about it. And of course, the story also says that he did write the tweet about how he felt about American culture and about the crimes that we committed in the Middle East.
Well, it's look, and who does? I mean, I feel that way too, But I hear I hear this problem. I understand. And when you said, I mean, we talked about this the other day. And Bo Berdahl. We talked about Bo Berdahl.
Bo Berdahl, right?
Yeah, and I get it. I was, I went to sign up for the military, and I went to the recruiter. Recruiter talked me into it, and I got signed up. And it was actually what he talked me into is he said, he's like trying to figure out assign a job or whatever. That's how they get you, and they go, oh, we'll train you to be this or that, right? So I was like, well. I don't know, what I want to be, maybe like whatever, and so they said, okay, well, just go down and you can talk to the guy at the station where you go to get the physical, right? So I go down with these guys to get the physical to go into the fucking Navy, and there's and we get to this place where they assign the jobs or whatever, and like, okay, go in and talk to this guy, and I went in and he says, well, what is it you want to do? And I said, oh, I don't know, like underwater welding looks interesting. So yeah, we can't promise any job like that. He said, what other kind of position you want? I said, I don't really know. He said, well, what the fuck are you wasting my time for? Go outside and think about it. Go outside and, think about it. And it's like yelling at me and shit, right? So
it sounds like Alice's Restaurant when he says kill.
Yeah,
kill.
and then the guy, the recruiter who fucking drove me there, talked me into going and drove me there, comes over and he's like, well, what do you mean you're not sure what you want to do? And I'm like, I told you I'm not sure what I want to do. You said go and talk to the man. I came to talk to the man. He's yelling at me. Now you're yelling at me, and he's like. Well, what if we put you up and there's a nice hotel across the street. We'll put you up in the hotel, and then in the morning you can come, you can go have nice dinner, and then in the morning you can come back over here and we'll sign you up. And I said, well, what if in the morning I don't want to sign up? And he's like, what do you mean you don't want to sign up after we put you up in a nice hotel and give you a nice dinner? I'm like, yeah, I don't think I really want to do this now because you guys are like pushing way too hard.
Made up my mind.
And he said, well, you just sit here and you think about what you're going to do, if you don't do this, right?
4 years of that sounds like fun.
Yeah, right. So I'm sitting there waiting in this fucking room by myself with the fucking folding chairs, and this person comes in and says, there's a phone call for you. And I said, really? And I thought it was like Ronald Reagan going to tell me how bad they need me in the Navy, right? And I go, hello? And it's my mom on the phone. And they've been on the phone with my mom for the last 5 minutes talking about how I'm bragging about how I'm not going to join the Navy. I'm just going to go and sponge off my mom for the rest of my life.
So they're trying to manipulate the family members to push you into the military.
And I go, hi, Mom, I don't know what the fuck they've been telling you, but I don't think I'm going to join the Navy. So is it okay if I come back and stay at your house for a little while? And she said, sure, no problem. So, So anyways, I wind up going, yeah, I'm not going to join the Navy because I don't buy a fucking used car from a fucking salesman who's trying to fucking force me to buy a used car, okay? So I got to ride home for 4 hours in this van with these 5 other guys who all signed up for the fucking army, right? And the entire way, they're fucking bullying me and talking shit about me. The whole bunch of them. Right? I swear to God, I thought they were going to pull off some dark off-ramp and beat the shit out of me and possibly rape me because it's so fucking weird, And that's what, and ever since I have been extremely glad that I never signed up for the military.
You could have ended up like the last caller.
I could have ended up having a bad time. I could have ended up like Bo Berdahl, because I'm a sensitive guy. Like the guy earlier wanting to know if I'm homosexual because I talk like a sensitive human being or whatever. I'm a sensitive guy, and if I had a whole bunch of guys giving me shit, I probably would hurt somebody really, really bad, and I just don't want to do that, and that's I don't know, and I don't want to be part, and a big part of it was like I blame Stripes, the movie Stripes comes out. right? And it's this it's this fucking military propaganda where these guys join the military and they have a great old time and they meet chicks and they get laid and they go to Europe and it's just so much fun, you know? And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe that could be a fun. Let's find out, you know, let's talk about it, you know? So I went to talk about it and it's just fucking bullshit. I just get bullied and I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna acquiesce to fucking bullies, you know?
I do know. I remember that day, Selective Service Day, the day you got the card at the post office, and just like, fuck, putting the card in the mailbox. I think I went there with 2 other friends, like, after having a beer or something to make it ceremonial. Like, fuck, we just did that, like a rite of passage. And I did not have any desire to join the military at all. I think they called me, recruiters did call my family. And I think the second or third time after I said I wasn't interested, I think I said, I lied to them. I told them I was gay and just went off like for 2 and just bullshitted with them because I just wanted them to stop calling me on the phone because I had no interest. And then a year and a half later, I was participating in anti-nuclear war demonstrations, you know. So I think I knew right away what my political affiliations were and whatever. Everyone has their story. But I'll let you go. I did want to share that insight with you, though, about the soldier. And I don't know what was going on in that guy's head. He obviously suicided, right? There's no doubt in his mind that after shooting the people on the naval base, being a Saudi national in the panhandle of Florida on the loose, that he knew, you know, he was going to not make it, I bet, right? He didn't make it, right?
You wouldn't think he was thinking he was going to get out of there alive.
Right. I mean, clearly he had some intention of suiciding himself, I think, or committing suicide before he committed the act. He had to.
Yeah.
I think any rational person would think that way. And that means you always have to question their mental state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly. All right. Good luck with the rest of the calls. And again, thank you for your program and for listening to lots of points of view. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Chris. It's always good to hear from you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I thought there was a caller.
You press 1 to take this call.
Pressing 1. Hello, caller.
Hello.
You again?
This is Betty. I'm Lamont's sister.
Why are you stalking me, Betty?
What did you do to him? He's sitting on the floor crying. What did you do to Lamont?
Well, that was a guy that had definitely had NPD at some level. He was a narcissist, and he called up and he wanted to start a fight, and he tried to start a fight, and you gave him like 3 or 4 chances, and then you got a little, you know, he insulted you. So that's what they get off on. Narcissists get off on that kind of shit.
That's all he did from the minute he got on the phone. It was like, you know, I'm judging you negatively this way, I'm judging you negatively that way. And I would, you know, and you hear me, I tell Dwayne to stop doing that shit, and he's not even doing it to me, you know. But, you know, this is just another way of attaching these labels, and we attach the labels so that we can just disregard people. Oh, they're one of those, you know, they're dope smoking, fucking dirty, fucking hippie.
Yeah, I mean, he started judging you right away. He came across with a lot of self-importance, and he didn't want to let you talk, and he pretended he was an important person, and so he exhibited a lot of the behaviors of a narcissistic person. And I thought for a second there you guys were going to have a conversation, but that's not the reason he called. He called because he was just a dick. Lamont, you little pussy.
You know, because I'm ready to have a conversation with pretty much anybody, but if you're not interested in having conversation, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, well, you tried. I mean, But you know, it's your platform. You got the power. I think your mic is turned up higher than his telephone, so you definitely overrode him. And you guys were both talking at the same time. Blah 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 blah. And you're a dick, and fuck you, and it's like, man. So one of those things. What can you say? It's actually kind of good to see that. You give people lots of chances. I think you have good instincts right off the bat. You probably knew this guy was a dick.
I did. I knew right off the bat. I mean, you know, there's a pretty good chance when you, as someone new to start with, you question that. But there's something in these guys' voices. You know, this like
Right.
they're playing. You can tell right away that they're playing some kind of a role. You know, they're in game mode. It's not I'm here to talk to you and find out who you are or start a conversation about this. It's you know, you can just hear it in their voice, and it's not even what they're saying, but in their voice you can hear clearly they're not on the same page and they're not there to do anything positive.
Well, you know, it's no big deal, but he's the troll you gave the most amount of time to so far. So, Lamont, you win the Dick of the Year award.
I don't think that's true. There's been a couple of them, but he doesn't deserve any awards at all. So, but you know what? I want to play this clip. So you want to watch this clip with me then, and then we'll talk about it.
With you, Michael.
Okay, so it's clip number 1. Hold on just a minute here. I have to. Craig says I have to mute.
Because for years, certain politicians and media outlets have stigmatized demonstrations, associating them with vandalism. Government officials tend to play up that side, the vandalism. That's what determines their reaction when they're dealing with demonstrations.
¡Ay, le pegaron! ¿A quién? ¿A quién? ¿A quién?
The national strike here in Colombia started out peacefully. Dylan has become a symbol of all the people who, like him, went out into the streets to demonstrate peacefully. His killing shows how peaceful demonstrations are treated in this country. It's been shown that Dylan was killed with a projectile called a beanbag that was fired from a 12-gauge shotgun. The use of this kind of projectile is strictly controlled in Colombia. According to rules adopted in 2017, beanbags can be used in specific situations. For instance, if the life or the physical security of a person is threatened. But that wasn't what was happening in Dylan's case. There are tight rules on how to use such weapons, but the police haven't been using them that way. For example, they're supposed to aim at the lower part of the body. But we've seen police repeatedly targeting the face, the head, and the torso.
In the weeks since the demonstrations began, Daniela's group has recorded dozens of cases of people being injured by the Colombian police, being assaulted, beaten, or hit by rubber bullets. They often depend on amateur videos to document what happened.
People know that videos are the best way to publicly denounce what's going on. We had the case of a girl who was kicked in the face, for instance, while she was riding her bicycle. There was also a boy who was shot by a police officer at point-blank range. These aren't isolated cases. I think they're happening because for years, certain politicians and media outlets have stigmatized demonstrations, associating them with vandalism. Government officials tend to play up that side, the vandalism. That's what determines their reaction when they're dealing with demonstrations.
Their electrical system isn't as good as ours here in the United States.
Well, yeah. I mean, ours ain't all that great either.
Yeah, well, we don't have 40 wires on one pole. We usually have about 6 or 8 maximum on one pole.
Yeah. So, anyways, I want to show you that clip, and obviously the cops are horrible, but the point of it is that what the woman says at the beginning. I cut the end of the clip out and put it at the beginning where she says, and then put it back at the end also, where she says that the reason cops act like this is because the media and politicians act like protesters are vandals and criminals. So you know, once that green lights, that just puts the cops who are already looking at everybody suspiciously, then the cops go into the mode where they're just criminals, you know, and the cops are all dressed in military gear, and you know, it's all just comes back down to this fucking war thing, and you know, that guy moved, I'm gonna shoot him, you know, and it's you know, and this is what Obama did. He did exactly the same thing during Occupy. Occupy went into the streets in 2011 because of
the banking.
Because Obama was not doing what he promised. It's not because of the banking. They went in the streets because they were not getting the change that Obama promised, and they wanted their change, and people don't understand. People were there protesting Obama and the government, the Obama government. Okay, so, and Obama and his Department of Homeland Security, which was newly made after 9/11, labeled those terrorists in a memo, those protesters, potential terrorists, in a memo that was sent out to all local police departments. Okay, Homeland Security, Occupy protesters are potential terrorists. Cops get that in their mind, and they're told to deal with them as such. That's who Obama was. That's who the media was. The media immediately, once these people went into the streets in Zuccotti Park, right? Zuccotti, they were like, it was they're public defecators and drug addicts. That's who these people are, you know. And
yeah, well, they were housewives, they were lawyers, they were business owners, they were employees.
They were concerned citizens,
right,
doing what the Constitution gives them the right to do in the proud American tradition, going into the streets and demanding the change that they were promised.
Yeah, we didn't do anything wrong. We were trying to change our country, and we were, you know, when the banking crisis hit, it was right at the end of George Bush's term, and he gave them, I think, $700 million to bail out the banks, and then Obama came into power, and he gave them buku bucks, into the billions, and it ends up being where we got 21 trillion missing dollars right now, 21 trillion unaccounted for dollars. So that's why people went in the street, because Obama took Bush's behavior and amplified it by 10 times and bailed the banks out and screwed the people. And so Obama is really responsible for Occupy Wall Street. Nobody else, just Obama.
Right.
And he was laughing at us. He was laughing at us.
And when he was campaigning in 2008, he said, if the people go into the streets, I'll be right there with you. And he never went to one Occupy fucking encampment. Never once.
No, never.
Yeah.
Never.
So,
I mean,
he was a lie from the start.
That's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and people still to this day think he was some good guy. He was the snake of all snakes, really. You know, Trump makes Obama look clean. He really does. He really does. You know, and Trump's not clean. So, yeah. That's
Occupy. Wait a minute. Occupy started before Obama was elected. Occupy. What?
Yeah, you're correct.
Occupy started before. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Obama was elected in 2008.
So what are you telling me?
Were you trying to tell me that Occupy started before 2008?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I didn't understand you.
Yeah, no, okay. Occupy started in like 2011. All you gotta do is type in OWS in the Google, and it'll say Occupy right? OWS, when did it start? 2011 in Zuccotti Park.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and it was started as an Obama protest in order for people to be able to see this guy before the election, before the 2012 election. The point of it was to show this guy is not who he says he is. And people were marching down the fucking street in Washington, D.C. with giant paper mache drones and shit. Okay, so Occupy was the real thing, and Obama
They were trying to make it to Wall Street. They got blocked off, and they settled on that little tiny park in New York, and they lasted a long time. And
but they were everywhere. They were everywhere. Everybody knows they were in. What's that?
It quickly spread all over the country.
Yeah, it was in every city. I mean, I was in downtown Seattle when there was like 1,000, maybe 2,000, 3,000 people, and they're like walking around, and like 2 minutes later, there's 500 tents set up in the middle of fucking downtown Seattle. It was awesome.
Wow, cool. Yeah. Well, we had the largest Occupy camp in LA, and we also had the longest running Occupy camp in LA. And
no, Hong Kong, I'm pretty sure had the longest one.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, in the United States, I'm talking.
Yeah, because it was everywhere. When I say it was everywhere, it was fucking everywhere around the world. Okay.
Yeah, it was the only global movement I've ever seen, and I don't know, man. I jumped all over it. I got involved as soon as I heard about it. I said, yes, this is our chance. And they threw so much money and so much power at crushing the Occupy movement that now I think the spirit of protest is much stifled, if not crushed. I don't know what your opinion is.
Well, again, it comes back to this thing where they paint protesters like somehow like they're criminals, you know. So that affects the psyche of the the citizenry. You know, the citizenry, I mean, let alone the fucking people who are not going to get up and go out into the streets anyways. They're like, oh, those people, they're looking for an excuse why those people are bad because they're not going to get up and go anywhere. They're busy playing their video games or watching their stories or whatever. But the people who might, who are not sure but might, there's all this negativity. That's what that story was about. How the media and politicians, they describe protesters as vandals and criminals, and so the people, people get that over time. People get that in their mind more and more, and I don't think that that's not anything new, but there's so much more information spread now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be interested in hearing your opinion on whether you think there could ever be a street movement in the United States again. Because I'm a little pessimistic about it. Even though I join in, if it happens, I'm a little pessimistic that it would ever happen. I think something happened to the American protest psyche when Occupy was crushed, and I think they know that, What do you think?
No, I think that there can be, and I honestly think that there will be, but I think that something did happen again. That's again, they're public defecators and drug addicts. I mean, that's what the news media was saying. That's what the politicians were saying about Occupy protesters. So. That was drilled into people, and so I think that there something did happen there, and then you saw them treated the way that they were treated. Also, they weren't treated like proud Americans with the right to go out into the street and protest. They were treated as if they were criminals who needed to be fucking rubbed off, scooped up off the street, basically.
Yeah, and
You know,
the news,
Soylent
the
Green
news,
style.
The narrative on the news was, well, they don't have any demands, or they don't have a narrative, they don't have any format plan. What do they want? That was the propaganda they were putting out to the American people, that we were all disorganized and we don't want anything. We just want to poop on people's lawns and set up tents. But in Occupy LA, I was standing right next to the National Lawyers Guild, and I know there was a mixed bag of people. There was homeless people, there was drug addicts, and there was protesters, but there was also educational formats and speeches, and it was disorganized. But what did we want? We wanted everything. We wanted everything.
We wanted the change we were promised. Again, this was all about Obama. Obama promised us hope and change we can believe in. We wanted the change we were promised. That's what we wanted. That's why we were in the streets.
Well, right now, the social media has really taken off since 2011, and everybody that was involved in the Occupy movement, the leaders at least, or the ones, the true blood believers, they're now on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook like you, and they're trying to get the message out, but it's kind of like a cyber, it's a cyber universe now instead of street action. And with street action, as we just saw in Colombia, comes casualties. That's an inevitable thing. Arrests,
we saw
injuries.
in Zuccotti, which we saw in Zuccotti Park and all over New York, and all over the country and all over the world during the Occupy protest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a true believer, and I hope you know that. But I just think the cyber universe has kind of taken over the American mind, and I don't see large-scale demonstrations anymore like we did with Occupy. Like, maybe we could have had a plan B, start Occupy community centers instead of occupying space. We'll just have information and a community health center or something like that. It's better than nothing. And I would be involved if I had that, but if that was near me or I had the option to do it myself. But now we're all in the cyber world, and everybody's on YouTube. And tomorrow, and I don't think anything's going to happen tomorrow, but God knows everybody's talking about what might happen tomorrow. And personally, I think tomorrow is just going to be another day, and everybody's YouTube channel is going to stay up, and nothing's going to happen out of the ordinary. But we had an alternate movement, alternate to Occupy, and that was the Tea Party movement. And you don't hear anything about them, but they were much, I can't really call them more successful, but they were much more acclaimed than Occupy. They were less maligned.
They were more media friendly.
Right, true. And they had specific demands, and they had media help too. Sean Hannity was down there at the TV at the Tea Party rallies with Ted Nugent.
Right.
So fuck those guys. Ted Nugent should give up his guitar and become an accountant or something. I don't like the guy. I don't like Ted Nugent at all.
I feel the same way about Gene Simmons, man.
Yeah. He's one of those guys from. He's one of those Israeli-friendly people.
He's one. You know what? No, Gene Simmons. I got a news clip of him that I posted where he's saying he wants people who smoke marijuana thrown in jail. Okay, and if it wasn't for people who smoke marijuana, nobody'd be watching your clown makeup fucking ass, you stupid douchebag.
Yeah. I mean, Kiss music sucks anyways. Who would ever buy a Kiss album? They don't even know how to write songs. They're a bunch of clowns. Stick your tongue out for 6 inches. Fuck that shit, man. I'll grab your tongue with a pair of tongs and rip it out of your face.
Whatever, just don't fucking act like somehow. I mean, this fucking rich cunt and, you know, living in Beverly Hills and, no, I don't want those people in my neighborhood smoking their weed. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. How many people are gonna fucking, if they knew that's the way Gene Simmons feels about fucking marijuana, would ever go near a fucking Kiss concert, man? Fuck Gene Simmons, okay? I mean, fucking nobody. Grow up, man. What is the deal? You make all your money off the police state or something? I can't stand people like that, you know?
Well, what is it that separates you and me from Ted Nugent and Gene Simmons is that we have an affinity, an empathy for the common man. We don't think we're above the common man. When somebody gets shot or hurt or thrown in jail, including for marijuana, you know, we want that person to succeed. We don't think we're not members of the elite, but some of those guys strive their whole lives, including Ted Nugent and Gene Simmons, to become members of the elite. And then they reach this pinnacle of social success, and they think their shit doesn't stink anymore. But me, I think I've been down so long and I've struggled so long that there's no way I could ever lose the virtues I've developed and the empathy I have for people. If I see people like that guy getting popped with a beanbag in the face, fuck, I'm going to get angry, you know. But some people are going to say, oh, they're revolutionaries. They're trying to destroy our country. But the truth is, my country got taken over a long time ago. Colombia got taken over a long time ago. South America is being taken over right now. You got, I think, 27 million dead Muslims since 9/11 due to the wars. 27 million dead Muslims. That's not acceptable to me. And that's not including any other casualties.
Okay, and look, and really, I mean, what we need to understand why this is not acceptable is because there is going to be major blowback from that. Okay, and it's already happening, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, you can't harm that many people, fucking, so you can make a profit, because that's what war is about. You can't harm that many people without there being massive, major blowback. Okay, so anyone who's got a kid on this planet, you better hope, you better pray, you better work your ass off for there to be peace. Because fuck climate change, fucking a grenade with your name on it is coming your way, or your son's name on it, or your daughter's name on it, and you can do something. Like I've said again and again, please make a video speaking out against war profiteering, because if we take the profit out of war, it stops. That's all there is to it, and then we can start making the world right again. But until then, there's this major wave of blowback that's coming, and it's probably the scariest thing there is.
The war that George Bush started was essentially kicking the hornet's nest, and his principle, his theory, was that if we get them over there, then we save ourselves and they won't come over here. But the exact opposite has happened. All the influx of refugees into Europe is a direct result of all these motherfucking wars. And the shooting in Pensacola the other day, or on the Navy base, is a direct result of these wars. Even the first Gulf War was a result of us putting an army base in Saudi Arabia, the first Gulf War.
Right.
We didn't remove that army base. So Osama bin Laden, whatever the fuck he did, I don't know what he did. He certainly didn't knock down those towers. But whatever he did was a result of having an army base in Saudi Arabia. So if you think that you can kick a hornet's nest and that your house is going to be safe, bullshit. 27 million dead Muslims.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's rejoicing, but I'm certainly not rejoicing.
Dick Cheney is rejoicing. Dick Cheney is motherfucking rejoicing. Liz Cheney is rejoicing. Okay? Again and again, every day they fucking celebrate that. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, it's a terrible, like I was telling you last week, planets have karma, and we're on a planet that has karma, and so what is karma? Karma means action. It's just a Hindu word. It means action. So we're the little people, everybody listening. Nobody's a giant. Nobody's 10 foot tall. Nobody's a president or a billionaire. We're little people. Make your actions good every day, and you're improving the karma of the entire planet. Like this guy, that caller, Lamont the Weasel, he's got bad karma. He came onto your show with bad action, and you stood up to him, and Lamont's not going to change. He sounded like he was about 50 at least. So he's not going to change his behavior. He's got narcissistic personality disorder. He's a loser, essentially. But that doesn't mean we have to be unkind or we have to be detached from all the suffering that's in the world. I mean, we're Americans. Our government fucked up despite our protests, and now it's up to the American people and the good people of the world to fix it, including the Muslims. There's plenty of Muslims trying to fix this shit. They understand everything you and me understand, Michael. They understand that American government is not the American people. They know that,
And nobody wants war, okay? For whatever reason it is that somehow, there's been this little Fox News viewership that's been brainwashed into thinking that we want war for war is good. Nobody, and it's not just Fox News. It's also MSNBC and it's also CNN. They're all about never-ending war. They profit directly off of never-ending war. The news media, the U.S. news media is nothing but a Pentagon outlet. Okay?
Exactly. They're the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. And now they got all our phone numbers, all our emails, all of our Facebook and Twitter accounts, YouTube channels. The military intelligence community is stronger than it ever was. You had multiple people, multiple heroes trying to bust this shit, including Norton, what's his name in Russia?
Snowden.
Edward Snowden, and Assange, and William Binney, and a million other people trying to bust the intelligence community from doing, and the CIA officials are on TV bragging about everything they're doing, and so the apathy level seems to be going up, and everybody's saying, well, I can't do anything, I'm just a little guy, but you can do something, I'm trying to do something, so you're trying to do something, so we're not powerless, especially in a large group. If you get a large group or a small group of like-minded individuals who are all on the same page, sometimes a miracle could happen. But
I always say that one person can have a profound effect on another person, and that two people of like minds can change the world. And I honestly believe that. I always wish I could find somebody so we could go about changing this fucking world. But that's why this is probably important, so that we can begin to come together. We have, regardless if we're of like minds or not, we can come together and then begin to become more of like minds, so that we can move a better place.
Like mind doesn't mean we all have the same opinions. It means we have the same intentions, and the intentions is to make the world a better place.
The intention is for there to be a better future
Yeah,
for
a
everyone.
change. Make a change.
A
A
better
change.
future for everyone. Because right now what's happening in the world is that there's a massive percentage of the population feels like there is no bright future.
Right, yeah. And I guess
that's extremely dangerous. Go ahead.
They call this next generation doomers, don't they? Aren't they called the doomers?
I don't know. I really don't. I hate those labels, man. I've never liked any of those labels, and I there's not one of them. I don't like any of them, you know. So
yeah. Well, I guess I'm a boomer, right? So I came in on the last wave of the boomers, right? So they think so many young people think I'm responsible because of the date of my birth for screwing all the people younger than me, but.
They don't look. They don't think that. There's this movement to try and brainwash people to think that. Okay, but the truth is that this has been coming, and that this mass extinction thing doesn't have anything to do with one generation. It has to do with the whole fucking planet, not acting as if somehow capitalism is a good plan. Capitalism is a very, very bad plan, and we're going to have to find a better direction to go than capitalism.
Yeah, well, I think a very good step would be to remove corporate personhood from money. Remove corporate personhood so that money is no longer speech. Because if the corporations can buy the politicians, we have just lost representation. We have no representation. I mean, the American Revolution was fought over a 3% tax in theory, right? 3%. And we're paying fucking just tax upon tax upon tax. The founding fathers would have overthrown this government 150 years ago, when the large push for corporations was underway, so
I really think that the founding fathers expected there to be a revolution too, because because they gave us all the tools so that it could happen, so we had all the rights to make it happen. And they made sure that those rights were protected so that we could have a revolution whenever we decided. And I really think that they expected there to be one long before now.
Yeah, I think if you think back and you realize, well, these guys, they crafted those documents after they'd been through massacres and battles and campaigns and all kind of snake-like events, where Britain was trying to undermine the formation of unity government amongst the 13 colonies. And they've been through a lot of shit, including cutting people's heads off in multiple Indian wars and British wars and French wars, all kinds of shit, and different situations in all of the 13 different states at that time. So they saw a lot, and they knew, they were scholars, so they knew European history, and so they were trying to craft something that was malleable and could move back and forth with the changing times. And it's a pretty damn good document, and nowadays, and they just knew, not even, instinctually they knew, but also they knew that there would be unforeseen forces trying to undermine their newly won freedom. And within a couple of decades, Britain was back at it again in the War of 1812. So, yeah, all wars really are bankers' wars, and bankers control everything now. And the last thing we really need is the population fighting amongst itself. We really have to unify, identify the enemy, and fight the enemy. And unfortunately, the enemies are the banks, the government, and the fucking military police, and that's probably not all. The media too.
Yeah, no, that's what I've said again and again, is that we have to identify. You have to know your enemy. When I was working at and I went to Raw Story to help them set up their video page. They were like, "Why are you posting all these stories about from the Pentagon, all this Pentagon propaganda?" I'm like, you got to know what they're saying. You got to know who the enemy is. There's a reason, when they say all this bullshit. If we don't know what it is they're talking about, then it's impossible for us to be part of the conversation. It's impossible for us to call bullshit on it, even though it is pretty much an automatic. We know this bullshit, but right.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I try to monitor the conservative news media to see what kind of propaganda they're spewing. I try to monitor especially the Israeli media, the Israeli papers and the Israeli YouTube channels, so that I can see what kind of propaganda they're spewing. And it's pretty easy to predict what's the new lie coming out, but those are just the overt lies. The covert ones, what do they call it? The astroturfing. Those are a little trickier to and the gatekeepers. Those guys are a little. Sometimes it might take a year or more to really identify a gatekeeper. Like I used to think Amy Goodwin was cool. Oh wow, what a great show, Democracy Now! What a bought-off piece of shit old hag she is. I'm sorry, Amy, but you're a fucking dork. Amy Goodman is a dork who believes there's a right wing and a left wing when it's really the same insane bird fighting itself.
Look, Amy Goodman got some fucking big sponsorship and got a fancy studio, and it costs money to have those things, and it costs money to do this, and it costs money to do that, and she wants to be able to, and once you get the money and the money starts rolling, then you're able to justify whatever it is you need to justify so that you can keep the money flowing, So,
well, that's a sellout. I believe in your integrity, Michael. You would never sell out like that. I would never sell out like that. I don't care how much money they're giving me. They can't stop me from speaking the truth. And if there's people dying, I'm not going to just look the other way. That's the ultimate sin. You're an accomplice to murder if you're looking the other way when people are dying. And so I just can't condone any behavior like that. It's like, I'm not going to, like this kid that got killed in Bogota. I mean, that's straight up murder.
Yeah.
It's straight up murder, nothing but.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for citizen journalists who are fucking filming this stuff and uploading it and making sure that it gets attention and stuff, we'd never even see anything like that, So,
well, let's hope she remains safe.
Yeah.
Because, Mexico, I think in 2018, I think they had somewhere between 50 and 75 journalists killed just in Mexico.
Yeah, I think it was 63 journalists killed in Mexico.
And you get the same story in every South American country. South America is the hot spot for the next 5 or 10 years. There's a war on for the soul and of the people of South America, So we really got to try to assist our South American brothers and sisters and really pay respects to these citizen journalists down there, because it's not like here. Nobody, Abby Martin might have got mailed a bullet one time or might have been followed or stalked a couple of times, but nobody's tried to kill her yet that I know of. But these journalists down there, they're risking their lives trying to tell the truth. And so I get, God bless them. I just hope, I hope we win. I hope we win, all of us, all the good people.
I hope that there's just a brighter future for people, dude. I don't, look, I don't need to win. I don't need to, I just want there to be a better future for the people. I don't want to leave behind this fucking there's no future. You know what I mean? I want there to be better for everyone, because I feel really bad for the young people coming up, and it's just, I just wish that I don't want them not to have hope. I hate hope because you can't get rid of it, you know. But at the same time, I don't want these young people not to have hope for something good in their lives somewhere down the road, you know. I don't know. It just
Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, I have hope, yet at the same time, I try to put it aside and act in the best way I can, as if I didn't have hope. You know, because if you think back on your own lives, the times you were most disappointed was the times when you had hope. You know, so if you don't have hope, you don't really get that disappointed. But at the same time, if you don't have hope, you won't work towards a better future. So it's like women. You can't live with them, you can't live without them, you know. So you can't live with hope and you can't live without it. You have to keep it in perspective and try to be really sane about it, you know. So I understand where you're coming from when you say you don't like hope. But you know, it was Obama who made hope a dirty word, you know.
It kind of was Obama that made hope a dirty word, but he made it clear. It's like when George Bush was president, nobody had any hope that he was going to do anything good for America. Nobody had any hope that he was going to do anything good for America, or no sane person, no person in their right mind. And then Obama came along, and there was hope, you know. And then, but it's like you're saying, if it wasn't, but he gathered so much hope. He gathered the hope of the whole world, because it wasn't just Americans that were rallying behind Obama. There was people. I mean, he went to like Paris or something, and there was giant fucking before he was president, like 1 million people showed up in Paris to see him, you know, and so the whole world was like, we're behind you, and it was because they want to hope. They want to hope that this is the guy that's going to make America the beacon in the world again, you know, that we always wanted it to be, you know. And I'm not like those other guys. And
yeah, everybody had hope. Chavez had hope for Obama.
So it's like
Gaddafi had hope for Obama.
Yeah, so it's like you're saying, like if you don't have hope, then you know you're not really disappointed. So like nobody was disappointed in George W. Bush, because nobody had any fucking hope that he would do any good. But Obama is like the biggest disappointment of my fucking lifetime, political lifetime, dude.
And we really shouldn't let that go. I mean, every time somebody says to me, Obama was the greatest president in recent history, I just about shit my pants and I go off on a tirade. Do you know what Obama did? Blah, blah, blah. I just go off on the motherfucker. And what good is that motherfucker's apology? Well, Libya was my greatest mistake. What fucking good is that apology? It wasn't even an apology. It was just an admission. Yeah, well, what are you going to do about all those dead people, Obama?
It's not even true. You know, Libya was a giant, huge mistake, but that was not his biggest mistake, okay? His biggest mistake was following right in George Bush's footprints. His biggest mistake was fucking bringing Hillary Clinton right along at his side. His biggest mistake was putting fucking Joe Biden right there next to him. His biggest mistake was fucking just, you know, staying in fucking the war in Iraq for another 6 years after. His biggest mistake was saying we have to look forward, not backward, and fucking let Dick Cheney and George Bush get away with crimes that apparently, according to Michael here, have murdered 20 plus million innocent Muslims.
Right, yeah. 27 million Muslims. And that's not including casualties from the white European American nations or any other nations. That's just Muslims. So that's an unacceptable figure. That's a satanic figure. So fuck these guys. Fuck the Trumps, fuck the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas.
They need to be in prison. They need to be in prison. In order to make the world a safer place. You know, everybody's like, think of the children. How many of the 27 million were children? Women and children. Obama, Bush, Cheney. They need to go to prison to make the world a safer place for women and children. It's so simple. How can you not?
There is hope, Michael.
Yeah.
There is hope. And one of the biggest things that I can see that is hopeful is that slowly, the American population, and including Canadians, South Americans, and Europeans, we are all getting a little bit smarter, a little bit more hip to their tricks. And something, sometime soon, is just going to burst. And we might have what do they call that? A worldwide general strike or something. Something.
Right.
You know, we're getting a little smarter, and we might develop some kind of strategy and see it through to some benefit. That's hopeful, but I don't know. That's something to hope for. We are getting a little smarter. I know that.
You know what is? I don't think it's so much smarter as that we're more connected and more informed. I don't think that more informed necessarily equates to smarter, but we have more understanding of what's going on in the world and what the people on the other side of the world are thinking and saying and doing. You know what I mean? So it's easier for us to be aware of the evil, or so to speak.
Yeah, we're more interconnected as global citizens. You know, we are more interconnected because of the internet. I can talk to people in Egypt or any of the Arabic countries, South America, Africa even, and there's at least people from 5 different countries on your chat, you know, right now. So it's better.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Don't get your hopes up.
Right. They can shut down the internet like Iran and stuff like that. And don't think that a U.S. president wouldn't hesitate to fucking shut down the internet, you know? So once you shut down the internet, then it becomes a lot harder for people to be, connected and informed and knowing what's going on the other side of the world, or even, on the other side of your neighborhood so much. So.
Well, what everybody's afraid is going to happen tomorrow is your channel and all these other channels are going to, get some kind of strike, and they're going to be shut down. And that's not shutting down the internet. That's censorship. But if they ever actually shut down the internet, like Twitter, or everything on the internet, they would shut down the entire business of the country. So
yeah, right. I hear you.
People would be out in the street in a half an hour.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, if you, as much as Donald Trump doesn't care for Jeff Bezos, I don't think he's going to want to shut down Amazon for too long.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'll let you go, Michael. God bless you, and I hope you have a good show.
Hey, it's good to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
Okay, brother.
Bye. All right, so, and Craig is playing a clip of Occupy in downtown Seattle. You can't really see much, but I'm on it. and there's a sign that says, fuck the police. So, I always make sure to get that in the video. Okay, everybody. If anybody else wants to call, now is the time to do it. Otherwise, we are done here. I'm going to have a bong hit. And get the F out of here, because I'm ready for a plate of food and a bong hit. So thanks so much for tuning in. We're doing it every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. If anybody is interested, we will be here tomorrow night and the next night and the night after that and the night after that, and then sometime shortly after that again soon. If tomorrow, when we all wake up and there's no more anybody who we love on YouTube, you can go to moxnews.com and find out where I am posting videos now. Because there's a chance, I mean, there's this chatter that says tomorrow YouTube is going to kick off a bunch of people. So, and YouTube has already sent me a notification that says your subscribership may drop in the next few days because we're deleting a bunch of fake accounts or something to that effect. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and that's an 83-year-old woman who got pepper sprayed by the police in downtown Seattle. An 83-year-old woman pepper sprayed by police. Good job, Seattle PD. Good job, police everywhere. Yeah, an 83-year-old lady. The only thing we can do is subdue her. What's wrong with you people? Okay, I just want the police to have the tiniest bit of respect for the community, the people, the citizens that they serve. Because, you know, if they don't have respect for the citizens, why on earth should the citizens have respect for them? You understand? There is zero reason. If the police do not have respect for the citizens that they serve, there is absolutely zero reason for the citizens to have respect for the police. You all get that, right? I mean, and that's what we really want. We want cops that we can look at like they're heroes. You know, everybody wants that. Are you done? Okay. Everybody wants cops that we can believe in, that we can look at like they're heroes. Okay? Because that would make things so much simpler than trying to decide whether it's safe to call the police, or if you call them that you or one of your children might end up getting shot. You know, no, I probably shouldn't call the police. It'd be nice just to know that the heroes are on the way and everything's going to be resolved soon, right? But we don't have that in this country. And it's really unfortunate because, like I said, it's what everybody would want. But we don't get that. And for whatever reason, it's been that way for a while now. I think since around September 11th. Actually, maybe a little longer than that. The police won't even let us have marijuana, Jason. They're not going to give us up their guns. And the police are part of the problem. I mean, the police are also victims in this whole thing, right? The police are, again, they want to be respected. We want cops we can respect. But it's all fucked up. It's not just entirely the cops' fault. There's something bigger than the cops being... You know, but whatever. All right, guys, I am out of here. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. Stay cool till then, okay?
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.